I swear, I have nothing to do with this. I'm just here for the magic coin. It's kind of my thing.
You think we buy that? You probably did something to him to distract us so you could take the coin!
Look, I'm a thief, and you guys are standing right there. Even with my cloaking device, I'd still want as little going on as possible.
Then why are you trying to steal it now?
Look, I have a deadline, and if I didn't do it tonight, it wasn't gonna get done. But if it's gonna cause this much trouble, then you can keep the damn... Whoa!
Okay, that's new. I've never seen it do that before.
Well, I think that may explain what's going on with your friend in there.
How so? It's just a magic coin. The kid uses it to turn into a Power Ranger sometimes.
And grow giant-sized. We got some complaints from the neighbors for that.
You don't know anything about this coin, do you?
Well, not really. Linkara just kind of found it one day. He said it came in the same box as the spellbook.
Well, there's a legend behind it.
Of course there is. Heaven forbid it just be some magical tchotchke you order out of FAO Schwartz. No. Has to be the freaking Ring of Power.
Hush, you. Thousands of years ago, when magicians and sorcerers dominated the world, a being from another universe found its way to Earth. It was said to be born of an alchemist's nightmares, some being that likened itself unto a god, part machine and part demon. It gained worshippers and slaves, amassing power quickly, and was completely resistant to the spells launched against it. A team of alchemists and magicians joined together and forged a great spear, made of a unique metal never before imagined, an alloy of mystically charged particles and foreign substances collected from falling stars, and the strongest materials mined from the earth. The spear worked better than they could have imagined. It was already great enough that it could physically hurt the creature, but when the spear was fully charged with magic, even close proximity to it messed with the creature's head, drove it mad. With a weapon like that, the creature fled, never to return.
What does any of that have to do with the magic coin?
Well, they discovered that it actually affected humans too, just over a longer period of time. They melted down the spear, but kept the metal around in case they'd ever need it again. Time passed, and the material ended up with different people, traded it around with various collectors who made it into objects or coinage, and here we are. Magic coin.
We've all been around that thing for years. Why is it only affecting him? And why now?
Well, it's not just the metal itself, it's the fact that it's mystically charged. It's more sensitive to magic users. From what I've seen, if it's regularly drained, then it's perfectly safe.
Linkara drained the magic coin years ago. It would probably take this long for it to recharge again.
Okay, all of that makes sense. Why is there a Pokemon on it?
I don't know. Maybe the last guy who owned it really liked Digimon or whatever this is.
It's a Lugia!
The point is, are you saying that if we let you have the coin, Linkara will get better?
He might. I've been trying to get my hands on one of these for a while, and I did have a plan to drain the magic away when I got it. Couldn't hurt to get it away from him for a little while at least.
Take it. But we'll be in touch, I can assure you.
My card. Look, I don't wish anything bad on you or your friend in there. If there's anything I can do to help, look me up.
Noted. Now skedaddle with that coin. Nimue got a trace on her?
Of course.
Saris, are they tracking me?
Bingo.
Well, that's not unexpected. Let me know how else this evening can suck.
I warned you about the batteries.
Still, I don't know if it was a good idea to give her that coin, or to trust her. I could have just driven away with the coin myself.
I trust Nimue, and I trust Comicron 1's weapons in case this is all a bit calm. Somehow I've got a feeling she wasn't lying. Let's just hope she was right and that this will help Linkara.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published
Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Still stuck in here, still reading this miniseries. Last time on Nightmares on Elm Street. The writer apparently decided to call a do-over with the series, abandoning the main character of the first two issues to instead shift focus to Alice, master of not mastering dreams. She, with her son Jacob, has returned to Springwood, which is in the midst of a mass murder of children and teenagers by Devon, a Waking World ally of Freddy Krueger. Freddy is attempting to recruit Jacob back to his cause by offering him his father back, and presumably his cool demon motorcycle as part of the negotiating package. With Jacob missing and Devon seeking to murder her, Alice's only hope now is Dr. Neil Gordon, in a coma since those first two issues that are otherwise ignored. Before we get back to the story, I want to talk real quick about something. There's a bit of a debate going on in the comments section about slasher villains. The standard stuff, are they really scary, survivors actually getting to survive from one film to another, and their own preferences for the monsters. It's really up to your own personal opinions about this stuff, but I want to bring up another reason why I like Freddy more than others. He's an active villain. What I mean by that is that he is always seeking out more victims. He is evil. You could argue that someone like Jason is as much of a victim himself given his backstory. He may not even understand what he's doing. But the point is that with very few exceptions, victims have to come to him to get killed. Otherwise, he's perfectly content to just stay at Crystal Lake doing whatever the hell it is he does. But Freddy is not in any way sympathetic. He is a monster through and through. He is actually going out to find victims, to the point where, when he ran out of the kids of those responsible for his death, he found ways to expand out and find more people to kill. Thus, while there's entertainment value in his kills, you're not actually rooting for him to win. You want this asshole taken down. Mind you, it also helps that you want to punch him when he makes terrible jokes.
What do you know? I beat my high score.
So, let's dig into Nightmares on Elm Street, number 5 and number 6, and see how he's defeated here. Our cover is really damn good. All the main characters hanging from Giant Freddy's glove, which is a very precarious place to be hanging from, since I'm pretty sure that means it's slicing into their hands. Also, everything's on fire, because Freddy doesn't do anything small.
You trying to compensate for something?
We open with Freddy being introspective.
Too many years. How many years have I been playing this damn part? Seriously, I miss being the friendly alien on V. I'm trapped in this nightmare, just like my victims. I'm rotting here. Springwood is sucking my life out, even as I consume its power.
Well, here's an idea, Freddy. Maybe you could trick people into getting you out of here if you didn't appear to them looking like the cousin of Deadpool.
But what use is power if it has limits? Why doesn't this franchise have limit breaks? The players are all moving into their final places. Alice doesn't know what she has to lose.
Well, based on that panel, it looks like she's already lost her spine. Also, keep hiking up those pants, Alice. Soon the pants will consume you.
Jacob doesn't know what he has to give, and Devon doesn't know what she's in for. Who am I talking to?
Freddy walks off into an archway featuring the 3D snake demon things from the 6th movie. For those who don't know, in that movie it was explained that these ancient demons basically gave Freddy this job. They have no backstory or anything, they're just creatures who seek out the most twisted human individual and grants them the ability to bend the line between dream and reality. It just seems so unnecessary. Sometimes things need an explanation, but as lore for the series, it's so underdeveloped that I'm shocked they even bothered. I think they just wanted a way to kill off Freddy supposedly once and for all, thus they blow him up and the demons decide to just leave, despite every other time Freddy has been defeated and them not caring. But hey, at least it gets him into hell in time for Freddy vs. Jason. Anyway, Freddy says he's ready now for Nancy to show up. Back in the real world, Yvonne is in the middle of practicing to be a centaur while fixing all the medical equipment Dr. Gordon pulled out when he woke up. Alice tells him about how she thinks Freddy has Jacob, but Neil just wants to go back to Nancy, slurring his words all the way for some reason. He explains about being protected in the beautiful dream, but also that Nancy may have mentioned something about Jacob, thus her only chance is to go into the dream herself. You know, going into the dream world is really the solution to everything in this franchise. I don't even know why they discuss any other possibility. Anyway, Devon shows up at the hospital with her Uzi and shoots everyone in the reception area. Quick, somebody call an ambulance! Oh. Dr. Gordon starts falling unconscious, so Alice asks Yvonne to knock her out with good old-fashioned drugs. Back over to Devon, she's basically just going from room to room in search of Alice, even coming across this random room that has 2 Jewish people whom I presume to be Holocaust survivors, considering they say, "Again, they are here," and a little flame, scrap of paper, I don't know, something on an arm indicating a concentration camp number. This is not aided by Devon Division, wherein they appear burned and stuff. So once again, to keep this from getting a bit too real, enjoy another clip from Freddy's Nightmares.
Well, you take your eggs, a 1, a 2, a 3, you get some flour, a little sugar, don't forget the butter.
After Alice gets knocked out with Ecto Cooler, Devon finds a room full of mumbling people and storms her way inside, killing another nurse. Only one more room. I have many thoughts. First, only one room left in the entire place? Geez, small hospital. 2, she searched through that many rooms, opened fire on that many people, and yet still no cops? 3, was Dr. Gordon placed as far away as possible from the entrance if it's the last room that needs to be searched? Anyway, into Dreamland and its ominous pink smoke. And Alice immediately takes a tumble down some stairs. Not an auspicious beginning to her rescue mission. Also, gotta love that sound effect.
That was crunk.
Dr. Gordon arrives and helps her up. Don't know why I didn't make a better entrance than that. I don't know, I'm sure the laugh track liked it. Back in the real world, a cop finally shows up to stop Devon, ordering her to put her hands up. She does not, so he opens fire on her in what is actually a really damn good bit of sequential art, where these 3 panels are shaped like a BAM sound effect. Kudos. Also, Devon has a delicious raspberry filling. Also, Yvonne, living meme. Oh, fuck! Also cubed. Bam.
Bam. Big-ass motherfuckers.
Back in the dream, Dr. Gordon explains the beautiful dream thing, in a somewhat better way than the first 2 issues even. While Freddy exists to perpetuate nightmares and his dark reality, Nancy exists to protect good and innocent dreams. And then a sheep. What the hell? Ha! That's it really. Freddy owns a little piece of hell, and he's bringing it to Earth. The part of hell that is a sheep, apparently. Alice and Dr. Gordon enter the church from Part 5, while in the real world, Devon kills the cop in a rather gory fashion, and her Uzi has transformed into a different gun. Events in the dream world seem to echo the real world, so when the glass in the hospital room shatters, so does the glass in the church. Why is this happening? Because Freddy's true power is defenestration, I guess. Nancy suddenly teleports into the church, making sure to contort her body into some kind of gremlin or something, but Dr. Gordon and Alice are themselves teleported away by— Good God, Alice! Okay, dreams don't have to make sense, but I call bullcrap on artwork that pinches her midsection to the point where it's thinner than her neck. Devon enters the hospital room and gets ready to shoot the unconscious Alice, but Yvonne gets hold of the cop's gun and shoots Devon in the heart. Why?
Jeez, what did I ever do?
Back in the dream world, Alice is teleported into an Alice in Wonderland dress with Freddy as the rabbit.
You're late for our very important date!
Ah, don't worry, Freddy. I've seen dating do's and don'ts. I know how to handle this.
Well, just go out with me, you shrill harpy!
Nancy is apparently teleported as well, despite her just arriving at that point when she did. She arrives in her old house and is met by what is supposed to be her dad, John Saxon. It's not a great approximation of the actor, sadly, although some of the angles do kind of capture his likeness. He admits to her that Freddy's got his soul prisoner here and that this is all his fault, admitting that he was the one who caused the clerical error that got Freddy released to begin with. Unfortunately, he also admits that the only way Freddy will let his soul be freed is if he kills Nancy. Wow, dude, you just admitted to all the horrible mistakes you've made, And now you just want to keep the train running, huh? In for a penny, John? Dr. Gordon gets teleported into a hospital room where he meets up with the kids from the third movie who were all killed, but they've been transformed. For example, there's Jennifer, the one I mentioned before who got her face smashed into a TV. And ironically, now her face is on TV. And then she eats him, I guess. Brilliant strategy! Freddy will see this and not be sure if he should go for a TV pun or a food pun, and his mind will break from indecision. And here are the rest of the kids. I mentioned Taryn last time, and when she said in her dreams she was beautiful and bad, what she meant was no pants or lower spine. There's Kincaid down there, who now has a lot of muscle to go with his superhuman strength. Up above is Philip, who apparently decided to become Spider-Man after the whole marionette thing. And finally Will, who has not changed at all, actually. Still in the goofy wizard's robe, although now he's got a staff, too. We finally cut back to Jacob and his dad, playing in the lovely screaming flower fields. Dan explains to Jacob that Freddy can make it so he comes back with him out of the dream. I'd question how that's even possible when his body's in the ground, but then again, Freddy can be pulled out of dreams, too, so who knows. And what does Freddy want Jacob's help with? Well, our issue ends with us once again bridging the gap between Nightmares 5 and 6. Freddy wants to be able to attack people outside of Springwood. And a psychic child can help him with that by... reading people's minds? In this panel, the role of Jacob's head will be played by a lemon. Let's move on to our final issue with a cover that's... okay, I get the symbolism. Freddy slashing through a large map indicating his desire to go outside the confines of Springwood. It's not exactly horrific, especially when Freddy's face here looks more desperate than evil.
Damn it, I'm not stopping for directions! I'll just use the map and... oh, damn it!
Where'd the comic go? We open with Devon, now dead and swimming through grape-flavored Gatorade. Right there with you, Devon. It doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Dying, I mean. Now, the part where I was shot twice, yeah, that hurt. Huh. But I know I'm not really dead.
Look who knows so much, huh?
Freddy won't let me die. There's too much he can use me for. I'm great with light filing and typing. After recapping what the other characters are up to, we cut back to Jacob and Daniel, where it's time for more exposition and questioning why the hell Freddy needs Jacob if he's so damn powerful, why he needs to stay in Springwood, etc., etc. There are rules here too, Jacob. The weirdest rule is the one about ducks not being allowed to wear sandals. Why would they even be wearing those? Dan says that there are lots of souls trapped here, particularly those who died before they were supposed to. Freddy vs. Final Destination just doesn't hold the same appeal for me. They might live forever, as long as someone out there cares, as long as someone remembers them. That's how Freddy keeps returning? People remember him back? Yeah. What's funny to me is that this is actually unintentionally setting up Freddy vs. Jason. It fits in with the lore well, especially with the concept of Freddy feeding on fear, thus the more people think about him, the more afraid they get, the more powerful he becomes, and on and on and on. And from a meta concept, he keeps coming back because people keep remembering the character, and thus more films made about him. And he'll help you come back to the real world if I help him? Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. But I don't want anybody else to get hurt. And if Freddy Krueger is known for anything, it's not hurting people. And then over to Alice in Wonderland, where her now dead friends from 4 and 5 show up as the various characters. But despite the better setup before concerning how much seeing these people again should affect her emotionally, Alice is more annoyed by all of this. And why have the screaming flowers now turned into Joker-faced plants? Back over to Nancy and John Saxon, she shoots her in the head and gore splatters, Countdown to Infinite Crisis style. Well, isn't that just pleasant? John Saxon collapses into a fetal position, pleading to finally be let go of this. I'll let you go. Your new nightmare is having to listen to the Frozen soundtrack on a continual loop. Forever. No, it's Nancy, who has assumed her final form. as a glowy golden ghost of Christmas past or something. Nancy? What's happened to you? I've changed, Daddy. I'm using a much more energy-efficient bulb now. I can fight him now. I've been fighting him all along. Bit of a contradiction there. But yeah, she says it's time to end this once and for all. They arrive at the junkyard as before. And what's John Saxon's contribution after getting Freddy freed, participating in his murder, getting his ass kicked by a skeleton, shooting his daughter in the head, and somehow screwing that up? No, we can't!
You are just comprised to fail, aren't you?
We can. I know the way in now. Yes, with your new dream powers, you have successfully located a car trunk. What? Oh. Over to Dr. Gordon. He runs from the Dream Warriors, and seriously, where the hell is Philip hanging from? Kincaid says he'll get him, and then he, transforms into a panther. I don't recall that being a thing with him in the movies, but okay.
Wait, what?
Anywho, Dr. Gordon keeps yelling back at the kids that he's sorry and he wanted to save them, but the Dream Warriors explain that they're not actually after him. Also, Taryn's wearing a thong. Seriously, can some artists only get off if they draw women in clothes like this? I'm actually surprised Jennifer in her TV robot body isn't drawn like she's got an anatomically correct robot body with a TV head. No, instead she looks like the real source of our nightmares, Mr. Computer. Anyway, the group explains that they actually rescued Dr. Gordon from Freddy, and they want to team up to finally kick his ass. And good on that! After what happened with John Saxon, I was worried they were going to tarnish the memory of these characters by making them into assholes too. Alice arrives in the Hall of Severed Demon Heads, because we're still on this Alice in Wonderland kick, wherein we soon see the arrival of the Red Queen, who is in the form of Alice's mother. This barely gets a rise out of Alice, who instead just uses super breath to blow her away. And thus they summon Freddy, who's the Jabberwocky or something.
Time to rewrite the book! In the new ending, Bella ends up with Jacob instead. Just makes more sense to me.
Over to Devon, who swims up into some cavern of skulls and is met by Freddy. He explains that this is the Dream Pool, where... Seriously, a lot of this series is just people explaining things that have no bearing on anything. Who cares what that place is? It means nothing! There's expanding lore, and then there's just adding pointless minutia. At least the 3D Dream Demon things explained why Freddy comes back from the dead when nobody else does, but all of this other stuff like the Dream Pool and the Beautiful Dream and Springwood's souls being trapped here and stuff really don't add anything to the story, and instead it feels like padding when they could have done more character stuff. Nancy and her father arrive in Freddy's cavern where they find, a clock tower? A really big chair? The hell are we looking at? Anyway, it has his soul or something there, and his body and soul are reunited, or he's being possessed by Dead Man, that's also a possibility. And he floats up to heaven or something. Back over to the Dream Warriors, more exposition! This time about how they don't think Freddy can be killed permanently, blah blah blah! Yeah, I remember that my favorite part of A Nightmare on Elm Street was all the long, talky bits of exposition on stuff we already learned in earlier installments that everybody is ignoring for some reason. Just to keep you guys interested, enjoy Freddy Krueger as the Wicked Witch of the West.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too.
They give Dr. Gordon a MacGuffin for Jacob, and dear lord, this dialogue balloon layout is the worst. They obviously wanted to get in one last group shot of the Dream Warriors, but the result is that the dialogue balloons force you to jump all over the place to follow the conversation accurately. But yeah, they're off to fight other battles, whatever the hell that means, and they send Dr. Gordon out to find Jacob and defeat Freddy. Speaking of, Jacob and Daniel show up at Casa de Freddy, ready to accept his deal. Freddy wants Jacob to use his powers to send Freddy into the real world, just like he used his power to send Devon into her flashback concerning her parents. Jacob did that to Devon? Kid's kind of an asshole then, I think. Or, if he didn't do it intentionally, he's an idiot. If he wants back in the real world to escape Springwood, why didn't he just possess Devon like he did Jesse in the second movie? You can't say they're pretending that movie didn't happen. They showed the damn human-faced dog from that one. Or hell, just make someone else drag him out like what happened in the first movie. But yeah, Freddy says Jacob can use the same technique to bring his dad back to life.
So, like, what happens to the body in the grave if he does that? Does that mean that there are two of him? Or do they magically teleport inside of him? This makes no sense.
Nancy shows up and tells Jacob not to believe him.
Sorry, girlfriend. He knows better. He's got enough upstairs to know I'm not lying to him.
The jury's still out on that, especially when Jacob thought talking to his dad's gravestone would bring him back. Unfortunately, since Nancy is now in Freddy's domain, he can mess with her.
Come on and give Freddy a big kiss.
Ew, that tongue looks like it has like 80 million diseases on it. Dr. Gordon shows up too and helps save Nancy from the black oil sludge from Creepshow 2. While Devon and Dr. Gordon fight, Nancy reminds Jacob that Freddy was the one who killed his dad in the first place and that he's currently fighting his mother. And since Jacob didn't want anybody else hurt, Freddy says screw it and makes the deal either help him or he'll kill Alice. However, it seems Daniel wasn't an illusion by Freddy since he jumps in to stab Freddy in the neck with a spear or something. So Nancy grabs that spear, everybody's either fighting or running, the black oil becomes these weird shadow creatures that attack Devon, Freddy refuses to help her, Dr. Gordon gives Jacob the MacGuffin, Dr. Gordon and Devon stab Freddy, Alice, Daniel, and Jacob start glowing green from the MacGuffin.
Well, suddenly I have a refreshing mint flavor.
It's all a big cluster crap as the three teleport away and the dream surroundings collapse on top of Freddy somehow. And I guess he's defeated. Sure, why not? Whatever ends this thing. Back in the real world, Yvonne is still trying to deal with the fact that she just killed Devon, but then Jacob teleports in and Dr. Gordon wakes up. Only it's not Dr. Gordon at all, but Daniel! And hey, it's time for our favoriteest thing in this comic ever. Exposition! Jacob says that he could bring Freddy back, but he would need a body, thus he was going to use Jacob's body for that task, but instead, Dr. Gordon sacrificed his body to let Daniel come back. But hey, he's happy since he gets to stay with Nancy in the dream world, so she can, be a nightlight or something, I don't know. And so our comic, and this mini-series ends with Freddy's arm hanging out from under a ton of skulls, while Alice and company decide that even if Freddy can't be defeated forever, they should get the hell out of Springwood. And hey, Jacob's actually expressing emotion and happiness since the dad he never met before is alive again in somebody else's body. And the moral of the story is that children will only find happiness if they have a father. I don't know, I'm grasping at straws here. After all this time, I can sadly conclude that, indeed, these comics suck. I will give it credit, though. Compared to other Halloween comics I've reviewed, this is leagues above those. And hell, there are actually a lot of good ideas here that would work well for their own stories and might have been expanded upon if innovation hadn't gone bankrupt. The problem is that we end up with so much story that there isn't time to explore any of this, and instead we end up taking up page after page of explanation and exposition. Characterization and development are essentially sacrificed, as Alice is suddenly completely uncaring about what's happened to her friends, and we spend time in an Alice in Wonderland reference for no adequately explained reason other than that's her name. Another thing that wastes our time is fan service. Yes, it's great to see the Dream Warriors again, but what purpose do they ultimately serve in the story apart from that? Oh, to give Jacob the thing that we're never explained what the hell it is. Yeah, I know, it would have just been more exposition, but at least we would have known what it was, where they got it from and all that. Then there's the complete sacrifice of the first two issues. Some people suggest that a long delay between issues might have caused that story to be dropped, but I checked the dates. Issue 3 came out a month after issue 2, like it should have. And the problem with having so many characters, especially ones that aren't killed off, means that they're all vying for attention, and nothing feels like it's really accomplished until the end, with little or no tension over the situation since we don't see many instances of Freddy coming close to killing them. I'll give the comic this though, the Devon stuff was well handled, probably the best part of this whole thing. Yes, it still feels a bit rushed, but it's something different in the franchise to have Freddy partnered up with anyone. Although I admit it's hard to imagine Freddy letting anyone else take his kills. Hell, the entire story is different from the Nightmare on Elm Street formula, so we can give it credit for trying to be original with it. The artwork is bad. In most places it's passable, but criminy in a handbasket did Patrick Rollo have issues with drawing women. However, the rest of it was just fine, although the colors seem off. Seems to me that Freddy's domain shouldn't really be quite so bright and colorful. Next time, we return to the Clone Saga for my 7th anniversary of doing this. Yeah, okay, dude. I think even dead people know what's going on, so come on, show yourself and let's get this over with.
Oh, you want to know, being one of the dear departed?
I'm not dead yet.
Give it time.
Just show yourself, you burnt piece of crap! Wait, why do you look like me?
Maybe it's because you're the real killer. Maybe it's all in your head and you're your own worst fear. Or maybe you just don't have a lot of imagination.
Or maybe you didn't want me to spend this whole fight calling you Pizza Face.
Ooh, look at the funny guy!
Better than your one-liners, Fred. Tell me, do you do that because you secretly want to be James Bond, or because it's a better supervillain gimmick than Captain Cutlery?
Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet. Ooh, I'm gonna have some fun with you, Linky Lou. I think I'll start by slicing a few chunks of you off just to watch them grow right back. Or maybe I'll summon up one of your little friends and cut a few parts off of them. And then let you watch.
Linkara, if you can hear me, whatever you're seeing, it's not real.
What?
You shut up!
You are hallucinating, Linkara.
Nobody's coming to bring you out of this.
Care to repeat that?
You are hallucinating, Linkara. An unusual radiation has been affecting you. You have not slept in days. As the source of the radiation moves away, your mind should reassert control and reject the hallucination.
Well, ain't that ducky.
Oh, you're not out of this just yet. Before I go, I'm gonna slice out a good time. Prepare to lick your wounds!
Jeez, what is it with you and tongues?
I'm gonna cut your eyes out for that! A cross? I'm not a goddamn vampire!
Then come at me, dude. 5, 6, grab your crucifix.
It's just there for the rhyme, you...
I could also cite evidence from part 3 where a cross and holy water hurt you, but I think my point is clear.
You frickin' nerd!
Ooh, a scathing insult in the year 2015. What's next? You gonna call me a dog?
Maybe I'm not real, but before I go, I'm gonna make sure that you die first. All alone.
In fact, I'm not even in front of you. And whoever said I was alone?
Damn, boy!
The hell?
My title card artist calls him Thing Tucker. It's the Thing from another world, but voiced by Chris Tucker.
Do you understand the words coming out of his mouth?
You frickin' little...
And I think I'm done here.
Oh, what? You're gonna be an AVGN ripoff from when he fought Freddy?
Nah, I'm gonna rip off something else.
What the?
UFO ending!
But I can see the pole it's hanging from.
Hey! You forgot the power glove!
Kid, can you hear me? Are you alright in there?
Oh yeah, just defeated Freddy Krueger and I feel really tired.